Hey, what's going on? Today I am smoking another cigar. Check it out. Revelation. With a bird. What are these birds called again? I don't know. The ones that talk? I forget. But it doesn't matter. Bruh. What the fuck's the problem here? This fucking thing won't come off. Also, I don't have a lighter. Just a sec. There's always something wrong at the beginning of these streams. I don't like it. But anyway, I'm not feeling very talkative today. But still, I'll just do a stream regardless. I might not talk too much, you know that? Which is kind of weird, right? Because why are you doing a stream then? Just filming yourself? Nah, we'll get there. But I don't want to get ahead of myself because I don't have anything planned, as usual. So I'll just let it flow a little bit and we'll see. We'll see where things go from there, right? This is a good cigar. I've smoked this one before. It's rather big, but it's alright. So yeah. Life. Life is infinitely interesting, isn't it? Never gets old. Except you do. Life never gets old. It's just us who do. Although, I don't know. I'm still relatively young, so it might get old eventually. Right? Just like anything else. Because yeah, what is there really to do, right? I was just talking with a friend that's living in America. And I'm like, what is there to do there, you know? What do people do there? And apparently, people just spend money over there. Which makes sense, you know? So all people really do is go to restaurants, go to bars, cafes, malls, anything that is about consuming something, which totally checks out, you know. That's why all of America is fat. That's why, you know, it's the biggest economy. It totally makes sense. And I should have known that, but I never thought about it. Because, over here in Europe, people chill. People hang out. You know? People actually just hang out at the park. Or they just go to a bar and just hang out at the bar, okay? Not like spend that much money. like actually a lot of people are broke in Europe. They don't contribute that much to the GDP, you know. I don't know how they do it, but somehow people manage to be broke. It's pretty impressive, actually. It's like, dude, you have no money? Like, what the fuck do you do? Nothing? See, yeah, but that's the thing, right? In Europe, people are able to do something with no money. They still, I don't know, hang out. It's interesting. It's just a interesting difference, you know? So yeah, I like it here in Europe, man. If I would be in America, I'd be spending so much money because I'm out all day. Okay, I wake up, I go out, and usually I go skateboarding for a little bit. Then I go eat tacos, then I go to like a bar, then I hang out with someone. And then it's like 10 p.m. or something, and I go back home. So I've been out for like 10 hours on the streets, you know. And of course, I spend a bunch of money, but not $100. Okay, I spend maybe. Let's think about this. I buy some drinks during when I'm skating. I might buy like a fucking banana or something. You know, that's like a few bucks. Maybe 5 at max. Then the tacos are like 15 bucks, something. Then maybe I'll buy a coffee or a tea, something like that, which is another $4. All right, I guess it's still some money, but it's not that much, you know. Might end up spending, what is that? 20 something? 20 something bucks in a day is nothing, right? Then rent is something like that as well every day. It's cheap. Life's cheap. And you have a good time, you know? So compare that to America. If you're out, you're spending money, all right? There's parks, but no one's at the park. It's different, bro. It's so different. So yeah. But what else? Let's think about it. This is a good ass cigar, man. What the fuck? See? See how properly it puffs? That's the problem with a lot of cigars. You buy them and you're like you're puffing, but there's no fucking smoke. The thing tastes like fucking ass. This one is good, man. Shout out fucking Paradiso cigars. They're good as fuck. It's like $10. 10, you know, maybe like 11, 12. It's kind of expensive if you think about it, you know. I mean, in terms of like cigars, it's not that expensive. I know that, but you know, this is like 2 packs of cigarettes, okay? So in that frame, it is expensive. It's an expensive smoke, okay? Let's just say that much. Yo, what the fuck is this thing zooming all the, you know, what the hell? You hear that? Yeah, you probably do. I'll just sit back a little. Dude, chill out, fucking MacBook. It's not that deep, okay? We're just live streaming. Guess I'll just have to close some things here, which I'll do right now. Yeah, usually that helps pretty fast. Okay, what else? Because this is all kind of boring stuff what we're talking about right now. This is kind of like normal stuff, right? The difference between living in Europe and America. Explained. Fuck you. Yo, chill, bro. Alright, I've closed everything down, so now this motherfucker should chill. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about. Took 10 minutes as an introduction. Yeah, I know. But what I want to talk about is that in a lot of things, sorry, I'm very autistic with this. In a lot of things, so many things in life, especially like social stuff, is very, I want to say backwards. Yes, it's backwards. Because think about it. It's a famous saying, okay? Everyone knows this. Who finishes last? The nice guys. All right? Why? If you ask anyone, like, hey, would you want your friend to be nice to you? They'll say, yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, my friends are all like nice people. Yeah, they're very nice. But in reality, the people that you're drawn to are usually just assholes, you know? They're assholes, they're not nice. Their niceness is scarce. That's why it has value, right? The nice guy that's always like, oh yes, of course. It's like, dude, you're available to everyone, always. So there's no value here. For your yes to have a value, there has to be a no. Otherwise, what's the value in the yes? Why even ask, right? You're going to get a yes anyway. So you could just demand it. So you lose respect. So you're not their friends. See the loop? That's why, man, never mind. That is why assholes are cool, you know? Assholes are cool and nice guys aren't. No aura, no nothing, bro. The biggest assholes have the most aura. Look at Trump. What a fucking asshole. The biggest asshole on earth might be Trump. Just rug pulls 1 billion people. Well, maybe not 1 billion, but at least for $1 billion. Just pretends like nothing happened. Still has aura, okay? Still has aura. You can say all you want, but, you know, if you're in a room with Trump, and, you know, maybe not today because he's, like, really old now, but, you know, he has had aura so much, you know? And I'm just using him as an example because, you know, everyone knows him. And he's very out there in terms of assholeness. He's a big asshole, okay? So he's a great example. But the guy has aura so much, you know? So that's just one of those things. And no, actually, it's one of the many things that are backwards like that, okay? Same goes for girls. They respond the exact same to nice guys, okay? The more you give, the worse. It's fucked up, but it's true. So I'm kind of done being a nice guy, you know? Because I was nice, not gonna lie. I've been nice. I was like, yeah, why not just be nice, you know? It's nice to be nice. You'd say so, you'd assume so. Doesn't it sound nice? Being nice sounds nice, but it ain't nice. You know what's nice? Being a fucking asshole. People respect you more, bro. All you have to do is have the balls to be a little rude, okay? Just a little. Well, maybe more than a little, depending on, you know, what you want to do. But for me, I really don't give a fuck, dude. Listen, this life is kind of like a single player game. I've talked about this before. And not exactly sure how I'm going to phrase this, but I'm thinking in terms of games now, right? So if life is a single player game, then I have my own loadout. And if we're talking Fortnite, then... Nah, never mind. No, I was gonna say that, you know, to get new loot, you have to kill someone. But I don't want to get into that, like, metaphor because it doesn't really make sense. No, it doesn't really make sense. It was gonna sound funny in my head, but in reality, it was different. Anyway, but since it's a single player game, let's start again. It's like, man, I'm gonna just look out for myself. Because why are you nice? You feel like you owe people niceness, right? Oh, hello. Like, look at how, bro, look at how people are willing to change themselves for others. And I don't even mean that literally. I mean that in the small ways, okay? I mean that in the ways where you walk the street with confidence and someone's standing there. If you just keep walking, you know how high the chance is that that person will step aside for you. Because for some reason, they don't feel like they deserve to stand there. You know that moment where someone's walking next to you, a stranger, and you're very tempted to stop walking next to them because you're like, wait, I'm not your friend, so why are we walking next to each other? Even though that's the speed you're walking at. And so is it theirs. You know how many people will either speed up or slow down because they feel uncomfortable walking next to someone? Why? Why is that? Think about that. It's basically all to, if you really take it to the fullest extent of what it is and where it comes from, it's because of unease. And why? Unease for basically like the judgment of other people, which means that it's for other people. Okay? So it's to come to other people's desires, basically. It's like, oh, what if, I don't know, someone gets angry at me or something? I don't want to get into a fight with someone, you know? It all derives from, what if I piss someone off or something? Or what if this person will feel uncomfortable? Or what if they get angry with me? Or it's all kind of like a fear for others. And I know this might sound like kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about? But that just means you don't get it, which is fine. But really, we can talk about something else because I'm kind of interested in this because, all of my theories, I just go on the fly and I just, develop my theories as I go, basically. Of course, I have thought about it, but it's always interesting to materialize them, right, in these live streams. So, what else? Smiling. Great one. Hey, meet my friend. Oh, hello. Like a fucking pussy. Is that you? Is that really you? Hello. Is that really you? You understand? Or are you doing that to signal to the other person that you are friendly. I am not a threat. I am friendly. You understand? So it's all still to come to the other person's terms, to meet in the middle. You understand? Being a nice guy. You are changing. Do you see the difference? It's the same thing as that person that's standing in the middle of the street, and now another person is walking right up to them, pretending like they don't exist, which is me usually. And you know, that person will likely step aside like, oh, I'm in the way. I'm in the way of someone else. Let me be nice and step aside. Same thing. Oh, I'm meeting someone. Let me be nice and smile. And I'm not saying don't be nice or whatever. That's not what this is about. I'm just trying to materialize the theory about what it means to be nice. Okay? And what it looks like. And what else? I don't know. We'll have to figure out what else. Because we're still in the process of deciphering niceness. I guess that's what we're doing here. So, but hey, we've already established that being nice isn't always the way to earn respect, you know? Here's the thing. The problem that most people have is that them being nice is a default mechanism that they fall to. It's their natural state of being. It's to change to please others. That's everyone's natural state of living, you know? That's a buffalo. That's a hyena. Those are social animals who live in the group. Oh, the group went somewhere else. Now I need to go as well, right? It's all the same thing principally. So, if you understand that, there's no good or bad here, okay? I'm not saying it's good or bad. The problem is that it's a default for most people. But what you really want, I suppose, at least for me, if I speak for myself, what I really want is for it to just be a button. Like a DJ, you know? A DJ like has all these buttons that he can like turn up and turn down, or like these knobs. Turn up the volume, turn it down. If your niceness is a knob, or like, I don't know how you call this, a mixer or something, that you can, increase or decrease, you want to be able to control that knob and say, you know what, let me be nice here, because here it's actually useful, or actually benefiting everyone, or benefiting me or someone else. And you know what, in this situation, let me just not be nice, because it's not going to benefit me or anyone else. And that is the trick, okay? So this is not, like, again, this is not to say like, oh, don't be nice, just be an asshole. No. Sometimes being an asshole is not the move, If I'm walking on the street and I see an old lady, 85 years old, I think I'm just going to be an asshole? No, of course. I'm going to be nice, okay? It's an old lady. I might even smile. So you get my point, right? But these are all things like, how many people are aware? How many people are even aware of this stuff? You know what's another interesting thing? Sometimes I learn about something, I figure something out, and I'm like, man, This is pretty easy stuff. What if everyone else figures this out too? You know? You would say it's just a matter of time, right? Because people learn. But dude, here's something interesting. If people really learned in the long term, okay, people learn, as in like individuals learn, but humanity as a whole, to be honest, it never learns really. Does it? Does it really ever fucking learn? Look at the stock market, bro. Look at, for example, like crypto. It's a great example. Every time I'm like, man, people would start to understand this eventually, right? Like the masses could be educated eventually. Are people really that stupid? You know, I think that. But then you realize, like, if that was true, then we would already be so much further ahead right now. The stock market wouldn't exist, bro, if humanity truly learned. Then the whole stock market and like the crypto and the whole thing wouldn't exist, because there wouldn't be any money to be made if everyone understood the game. Then, for example, the Bitcoin graph would just be a slow, steady uptrend. But no, it's like, oh, we're happy, oh, we're sad, oh, we're happy, losing money. All the retards lose their money. And it's all the same. It's all the same everywhere, you know? So the point, what I'm trying to make is that humanity doesn't really learn, which is kind of crazy, right? It's, in a way, it's sad, but yeah, who am I? You know, who am I to decide what's right and wrong? What if this is right? Okay, what if we're never supposed to learn? That could be the case. If that's reality, then that's how it should be. Which just means that there's more money for me. So here's another thing. And I'm just freestyling here, okay? And we'll have to see how long this goes on. But here's another thing. People love to tell themselves, I've talked about this before, but people love to tell themselves that they contribute to society with their jobs, right? That's kind of like a cope in a way. I mean, it's true, but it's also kind of like a cope. They tell themselves to feel better about their like very average existence. But if they could, they would. Because sometimes, and I barely talk to normies about my stuff, but sometimes they get me to talk, okay, sometimes. And that's fine. And then every now and then someone might ask me like, so doesn't it feel like you're not contributing to society as like a stock trader, right? And I say like, yeah, in a way, I get where you're coming from, but it doesn't really bother me. Because I don't have to cope, you know? Because it's awesome, dude. If I don't have to suffer for money like most people, then I'll do it, dude. Who wouldn't? Am I really gonna get a job just so I can feel like I'm contributing to society? Am I really gonna get a job just for that? If I can just take money from the retards, take money from dumb people, is it even evil? I never told him anything. I never told him to do anything, bro. See, if I was the guy to like tell them to buy my shit and then scam them, yeah, I would feel bad. But that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying like, oh, look over there. People are giving away money. People are literally dropping it on the street. I just have to walk 10 miles to get it. Yeah, I'll go there. Of course I'm going. If I have to walk only 10 miles there and it's a nice road and they give me money for free, why wouldn't I go there instead of work a job and have to walk like every day for like less money and the road is like sloppy and I have to wear shitty shoes and it's raining all the fucking time? That's it. That's the difference. And this goes for everyone. If you could, you would. It's just true. So do I feel bad? No. I don't. Because again, I don't have to cope. I don't have to cope with my life too. Because see, what I'm saying here is all true. And I'm admitting the truth. I'm just saying the truth. Do you understand? I'm not bending reality. I'm just observing, and of course everyone could say that, but you know. But the point is that wait, where was I going with this? I don't really know. Yeah, I don't have to cope. There's no but, actually, right? It's just like, it's just easier for me this way, bro. It's just easier. Sure, I might not contribute to society in that way. I admit it. So there's no cope. So I guess that's the catch. That was where I was trying to... Because that's the thing, right? A person with a job that they don't really like would say like, yeah, okay, but this might be harder, but yeah, at least I'm like part of like a community at my work, and like we really help people, and like if you're a doctor, okay, that is a valid argument. But anything besides that is like, dude, you're probably working in some factory that's making like Coca-Cola, which is giving people like cancer and shit. So fuck your contribution, dude. It's not even a good damn, what the fuck? Contribution. Your contribution sucks. So I rather contribute nothing than contribute something average. You know what I mean? You know, I used to build, how do I say this? I used to work some kind of like construction type of job. And not like in real estate where they like build houses and shit. But we used to build like furniture and stages for festivals. And personally, I am not a fan of these things, okay? I'm not a fan of all these events and concerts. Okay, some concerts might be cool, but most of it, to me, is just degenerate crap, okay? And I say that with all respect. Like, if you enjoy that shit, go ahead. I don't mind it. I don't, like, if you tell me about it, I'll be like, nice, it's nice for you, bro. I'm happy for you. Like, and I actually am. Like, people enjoy that shit. That's fine for them. But for me personally, I think it's tasteless. I think it's kind of disgusting. I think it's kind of dumb. I think it's useless. And I didn't feel like I was contributing to society doing that job because I didn't believe in the contribution I was making. I didn't believe it was a positive one. I just did it for the money. You know? Again, not coping. The truth about life is to just try to cope as less. I don't know. Try not to cope as much as the others. Everyone is coping all of the time, bruh. Because their lives kind of suck, dude. Oh, is that ear rape? And I get it, you know. What else? We're kind of cooking here, no? We're speed running topics. But it's kind of interesting. So yeah, contributing to society. It's just one of those psyops, dude, honestly. It's just to keep the ant factory, or like the ant, what do you say that? The ant colony, you know? Just to keep them in check. Oh, but you're really doing something great here. Don't get sucked up in the fucking 9 to 5 shit, dude. It's so fucked up, man. Especially if you're talented and everything. It's such a waste, bro. See, I contributed to. Why do I have such issues with this word? Contribute. See, I contribute to society in different ways. I make people laugh. I give people advice. I help people. I make people feel good. And that, there is value in that. Someone has to be cool like that, okay? Someone has to be the leader. And I'm not saying I'm like the leader of this or that or whatever, but in some ways, I am a leader because I'm doing something that no one else is doing. I'm not following anyone. You understand? I'm not following any orders. I'm also not like giving orders. So I'm not like a literal leader. That's why I'm like giving this disclaimer, I suppose. But I am my own leader, at least, you know. And I know that at least will inspire some people. And I know I believe in that contribution, okay? The fuck is this, bro? See that? Unacceptable. Yeah, let me talk about this for a bit more. So I've been really getting into the whole social thing, bro. Because I was tapped out, I was isolated for years. Do you understand? I've been in isolation for so long. Just grinding it out, dude. How can I make money as much as possible without having to fucking work for someone else? How can I be free? And I did it, you know. I did it. I got it. I have the freedom now. So now I'm free, right? And I'm out of isolation. That's why I'm out all the fucking time now. That's why I live, dude, I have more in common with a hobo than with someone with a job. A hobo lives on the street. There's something that is cool about that, okay? Anyway, I'm sidetracking here, but I was in isolation forever. I was fucking alone, bro. I had to pay that price. Because if I was around everyone else's mind would have been affecting me. And I couldn't have gone to the place where I wanted to go. So that's why I had to isolate myself. And that's why it worked. And that's why I'm the leader of me. Do you see? So anyway, I'm giving this pretext because I'm interested in the social, okay? It's so interesting. It's all about people. I've talked about this before also. And if it's all about people, and if we also agree that so much of people is about what's in their mind, then we can all agree upon the fact that what people think is so important. It's important. It's one of the most important things. Hence why, hence propaganda is such a big thing. People are very invested in what everyone thinks, okay? That's why the media is such a strong, powerful tool, right? This shit is like, we're talking like country level power here with what people think. Countries are interested in that, okay? The Iranian bots, the Russian bots, the Jewish propaganda, whatever, like any fucking side of it, right? The American propaganda, whatever you want to say. This stuff, these battles are real. And this is all just to say that this is all to prove the point that what people think is utterly important. And this is why the social is so interesting, right? How do people perceive you? What do people think about you? And see, on the one hand, I've been thinking about this. On the one hand, if you ask me, like, do you care what people think about you? I'll say no. But in the same breath, I'll say yes. I'm very interested, and I'm interested. I might not be as invested, or my mood might not depend on the outcome of what they think of me, but I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Just to know, all right? Just to learn something from that. And why? What's the thought process? How did they come to that conclusion? And it's not even to learn something about someone else's thought process. Well, maybe it is, but it's more so to just be able to manipulate reality. Do you understand? Why are things the way they are? Well, if we all agree, like we do, upon the fact that what people think is so important, then reality derives from what people think. Do you see? And if that's the case, then it's so interesting what everyone thinks, and it's very important. Okay? And the thought process is what led them there. So if you want to change reality, you have to change what people think. And if you want to be able to change what people think, you have to know how they got to what they're thinking right now. So that's why I'm so interested in the social. And I say the term the social because when you're interacting with people, right, it's kind of like you're influencing their minds in real time. And I know this sounds all like very heavy, but I'm just kind of very, not to sound like cringe or whatever, but like academically analyzing just social interaction and kind of going over like why I find it interesting. And I know this is going to go over everyone's head, but I'm cooking right here, okay? Smart people will understand this shit. And there's probably like books about it. People say like, oh, this book is about it. Okay, I don't care about the fucking book, bro. I don't want to read it. I don't care. But yeah, this is fucking interesting, bro. And I feel like this is a good ending for the stream. Cigar's starting to kind of taste weird a little bit. You know, towards the end, it always starts to taste a little toxic, I suppose. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, acidic maybe, something like that. Just strange, to be honest. Yeah, toxic is a word. I'm toxically masculine, bro. So yeah, I'm interested, man. What people think, this and that. Because, there's one thing of just making money behind your laptop. But that was just to serve me, dude. That was just very utilitarian. Just so I didn't have to, like, work a fucking job, man. That was it. It's the only reason why I did it, man. Listen, I know that we're, like, social animals and stuff. That's what people say, right? Like, we're social creatures. I know, bro, but I don't want to get a job. So if isolating myself for years means that I'll have money, then I'll fucking do it, bro. I'll go against my own code, my own fucking programmed system. Because I can do that, right? Because I'm smart. Because I'm a conscious being. I can go against my own impulses. So, with that being said, yeah, but see, your life is pretty long if you're lucky. And you can go through these phases, right? And I never liked being stuck up on one thing. So I was never a nerd, but I was living like a nerd in my bedroom, mother's basement. Yeah, fuck it. I was the stereotype. Oh, still living in his mom's basement. Yes, I was for the longest, bro. I don't care. That's the fucking reality right now, bro. You know how many people still do that? 21, 22. As long as you're not gaming up there, as long as you're trying to make money, it's fine. See, if you're just like gaming and jerking off, yeah, then you're a fucking loser. But no, you're gonna stay a loser because you are a loser if you're living in your mom's basement. There's nothing wrong with being a loser as long as you're planning on not staying it. And actually doing something. So, yeah. So anyway, like life's pretty long, and you can go through these phases, and that's what's interesting, right? That's what we call eras, right? So I guess you could say I'm in my social era right now. And it's interesting, man. I like it, but yeah, there's also some sad truths about it. Well, I mean, we don't have to get into it. It's kind of like the same old stuff, right? People disappoint you, blah blah blah. Nothing new there, but still, it's cool. It's interesting. I wonder what the next era is gonna be. I hope I get to live long, dude. I definitely feel like I'll move out of the city after like a year or like 5 years from now. I'll get sick of it, dude. I just know that. Where am I gonna live? Maybe in South America. Been talking about this with a friend. Argentine or something. He keeps bringing up Uruguay. It's pretty good down there, I think. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's gonna be for another stream, right? So yeah, that was a whole bunch of stuff mixed together, dude. I don't know exactly what that was, but it was good. I feel like the last segment I was really cooking there. Yeah, so I guess it went from like this. It started boring, then it got better, then it got better, then it got better, and now we're here. Okay, so we gotta cut it at the peak, right?